Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the top 3 most improved players this season under Xavi Hernandez. Keep in mind that I am not going to be talking about the top 3 best players that have performed this season, but the most improved players. It's going to be a very interesting video because we know Xavi's FC Barcelona. He knows how to get the best out of these players. He knows how to maximize these players to 110%. Like literally, we're seeing almost a different version of what Pep Guardiola did with FC Barcelona a few years ago. You can clearly see that Xavi Hernandez has been greatly inspired in terms of how Pep Guardiola did train FC Barcelona when Xavi, Iniesta, Puyol was all there, and now he is implementing those exact same ideas in terms of the intensity and always being 110% focused. But before we go into this topic, I do want to speak about our sponsor for today, and that is going to be the OneFootball app. If you want to find out where I do get my information from in terms of like the stories, player stories, team stats, player stats, all of that information is going to be compact within the OneFootball app. They have great stories, great articles. You can read so much on your favorite player or your favorite team. The only thing you do have to do is download the OneFootball app by scanning the QR code that you do see here on the screen. And if you do not have a camera, there's also going to be a link down below that's clickable. It'll take you straight to the App Store. You can download the OneFootball app, set exactly who and what you do want to follow, and then you'll be set and done from there. Again, it's a very informative, entertaining app. I hope you guys do enjoy it. And I also do want to thank OneFootball for supporting a content creator. But now let's go back into this video and let's talk about Marc-Andre ter Stegen as the first player who has greatly improved. And there's going to be a big reason on why I'm going to be talking about this player first before we even begin talking about the other 2 players. And so you guys will know exactly what I do mean, but when it comes to Marc-Andre ter Stegen, you look at his previous 2 seasons, the only thing people have been saying about this goalkeeper is that his nickname should be Ter Static, Ter Statue. This guy barely moves, he rarely makes any saves. Like, why even place this player when he can't even attempt to try and save that shot? Because that is what we were seeing in the past 2 seasons. Ter Stegen barely saved any shots that was being attempted by the opposition, and every time he did receive the ball, he made a bad pass that ended up with Barcelona losing the ball and giving away the possession. And so I remember throughout those times that many were saying, okay, we have Iñaki Peña, let's use this player because Ter Stegen is clearly just not reliable no more. But then, ladies and gentlemen, Xavi Hernandez came. He has mentally rebuilt this player and has even given him a bigger leadership role on how to organize the defensive line, what he does want and where he does want his players to be positioned in on the field. You can just truly see the difference in terms of the attitude, the composure of Marc-Andre ter Stegen. You look at this example here, you can see that Pedri was receiving the ball, who was being greatly pressed by Bayern Munich. He sees ter Stegen as an option. He does passes it towards ter Stegen, and then you can see that ter Stegen was also being pressed, and so Bayern were making a big trap on that defensive line and with Marc-Andre ter Stegen, but ter Stegen did not make the mistake like he used to. What he did was basically find a long ball and calmly passes it towards Marcos Alonso, right? This is the ter Stegen that we want to see, is someone who's very reliable. Even when he does face the most intense team, like a team like Bayern Munich, he can still act accordingly and always make the exact right decisions. And so when it comes to La Liga, it does say here that for the first time in his Barcelona career, ter Stegen concedes only 1 goal in his first 5 La Liga appearances within the season. If we even look here, we can see that when it comes to clean sheet percentage, he is in first place with 83.3%. If you combine the top 5 leagues in the world, ter Stegen is still in first place within this season. If you look at the save percentage, you can see that he is also in first place with a 92.9% save rate. And then if you again combine all the top 5 leagues in the world, which is the German league, the Italian league, the Spanish league, the English league, he still ends up being in first place with a total of 92.9%. And you can see that in second place comes in Jan Sommer, Neto, third place, fourth place Jero Rulli, and then we have fifth place Donnarumma when it comes to the top 5 leagues in the world and who has the highest save percentage. Ter Stegen is that goalkeeper for FC Barcelona this season, and many are loving to see that. And so again, the reason why I wanted to talk about this player first is because there is a very big reason on why he has great numbers. That is because he has a great defense backing him up. And let's talk about Alejandro Balde, because yes, Araujo and Koundé continue to do what they do. They do great things in that defensive line with Christensen and Eric Garcia, and also with sometimes Jordi Alba, Bellerin, Marcos Alonso. All of those options are very reliable according to Marc-Andre ter Stegen, and he greatly does appreciate those players. But Alejandro Balde has been the one that has improved the most. He is the most well-rounded left back that Barcelona currently do have. If you compare him to Marcos Alonso and also Jordi Alba, if you were to ask anybody who Alejandro Balde was 1 year ago, many would have basically said he is just another La Masia player. He's probably going to be going to like another team like Manchester United or maybe Inter Milan, because because there's no way that Barcelona are going to use this player in the first team because they're just going to be buying other players out there within the top 5 leagues. But that has not been the case. Alejandro Balde has changed his story, and not only has he impressed with FC Barcelona, but he is impressing within the league. Balde is currently number 1 in terms of who has the most assists within La Liga. Balde does have a total of 3. Yes, he is in first place because also he does beat all of the other players that does have 3 assists, mainly because he has the highest expected assist rate, meaning that he is expected to find more assists because of how close those crosses that he has previously attempted almost ended up as goals. So we saw many times where Balde made a beautiful cross, but sometimes we saw Lewandowski have his shot blocked, or sometimes we saw Ansu Fati having his shot blocked, or Xavi having his shot blocked. But Balde continues to generate so much opportunity within that final third, and especially inside and outside the box. So he has been greatly impressive. And the thing that really does impress me the most about this whole thing is the fact that Xavi has given Balde his faith. He believes in Balde. Like, Xavi has literally said, okay, Balde, you're going to be starting over Jordi Alba, and I'm dropping Jordi Alba mainly because this player is not better than you. You are on form, you have better qualities within your disposal, and I do not care if Jordi Alba has been with Barcelona for 8 years. You are the one that I prefer within my starting 11. And the fact that Balde has delivered at the age of 18 years old, like 18, he's not even 19. That is so impressive. Like, can you just imagine, right? Just to give you guys the better picture of this whole thing. Imagine introducing Xavi and Pedri on the exact same season Xavi and Iniesta did leave. Like, who knows how Xavi and Pedri would have responded in a moment like that, knowing that they had to fill the shoes of someone who has been there for a very long time. Can you imagine Dest coming in at the exact same time Dani Alves did leave? Dest would also be extremely nervous, and he will be very well aware that he's going to have to fill in the shoes of Dani Alves. This is what we are seeing with Alejandro Balde replacing Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba has been here for like 8 years, since 2013, and he was doing phenomenal in the first like 4 to 5 years. But Balde has responded. He does not care about this pressure. This guy here is mentally correct thanks to Xavi Hernandez, and I think that with this type of rate that Balde is having right now in terms of generating so many opportunities, bringing in these assists, looking at his potential, I strongly think that in a few years he can beat Jordi Alba offensively. Like, if you look at Jordi Alba's best assist season, it was in the previous season under Koeman and Xavi, where he did register 10 assists. That was his personal best record. Balde, again, at this rate, I think that he can top Alba. He has 3 assists. He only needs 7 more assists within a season that does carry about 45 more games overall in all competitive competitions. And then we look at his other defensive stats so far this season. He is in 2nd place in terms of having the highest success rate when attempting to tackle a dribbler, and he is currently number 1 with the most pressures within the defensive 1/3. And then again, let's compare Jordi Alba and Alejandro Balde. Jordi Alba won 37.5% of his aerial duels last season. Balde this season so far has won 76.9% of his aerial duels so far. So again, it's just an upgrade of what Jordi Alba was bringing in the past few years defensively. And of course, this guy here, he is very entertaining. He has the capability to like dribble from deep areas, and the people love to see that. You look at how the Camp Nou responds when he does take down about 3 to 4 players, which he did against Manchester City. It was very impressive. Like, this guy knows how to look for those spaces and tackle those spaces, taking on his man. This is why many of us do say this guy really does remind us of Alphonso Davies in terms of the style of play, not the level. And this has been a trait, I would say, that Jordi Alba has never been able to do. Jordi Alba has always relied on players like Messi or Luis Suarez, Dembele, sometimes Ivan Rakitic to carry the ball moving forward, and Jordi Alba making those runs and making those overlaps to find the ball outside the box and make that final touch to bring the assist, and having other players like Messi or Suarez score inside the box. Balde is not like that. He wants to be the main carrier. He wants to take the ball and take it towards the final third, and that's very impressive and very bold of Alejandro Balde. Moving on towards the last player, and now let's talk about Eric Garcia. Now, here's the thing, right? There was a report that did come out stating that FC Barcelona are expecting for many captains to leave in the summer of 2023. Many of us do know exactly who those could be. It could be Piqué, Jordi Alba, and Busquets. And it has also been said that those captains will be replaced by players like Ter Stegen, Lewandowski, Pedri, and Ronald Araujo. Dembele is also another great option. Now, here's the thing. Seeing how this season is evolving, I strongly think that by the end of this season, Eric Garcia might be one of the candidates. I'm not saying for sure, but one of the candidates to be the captain of FC Barcelona. Maybe not first option or second option, maybe the 3rd or 4th option in terms of holding the captain's armband. And I'm saying this because you look at how Eric Garcia has been very talkative on the pitch, talking with the players, always ordering other players to do certain things. This is a player that studies the game. Like, this guy here, he even does have his coaching license. Like, the fact that this guy is already ready for his retirement, and the fact that he has made made a decision to study football, to be a coach after his professional career is finished, that is great to see. You can see that Garcia is so focused in terms of like tactics, in terms of approach on the game. And again, as we progress through this season, more and more we're starting to see that Eric Garcia is way more wanted to this FC Barcelona squad than many of us did think, because there is no better passer within that defensive line that's better than Eric Garcia. I know that sounds very like repetitive. I know that we do talk about that all the time, but literally this is going to be the only thing that's going to keep Eric Garcia within FC Barcelona, because with this type of trait, this is exactly what Barcelona do need. And also with the Spanish national team, this is something that we are going to be seeing later down this weekend. Let's see how Lucho uses Eric Garcia when he does start him in that defensive line. And surprisingly, he has gotten better defensively. His tackles have been amazing. I think that again, in the future, we're probably going to be seeing a center back duo of Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo, but Eric Garcia will be the safest replacement and substitution to those two players. It is not Christensen. It is not someone like Piqué. It's not going to be any other player that Barcelona are going to be introducing later down the road. It's going to be Eric Garcia. His composure, his ability to always find that open player to pass it to, his ability to also dribble into the final third has been, again, amazing. If you compare Eric Garcia to Koundé and Ronald Araujo when it comes to the key passes, you can see that Eric Garcia does beat both players when it comes to the passes to the final third per 90. You can see that when it comes to the passes to the penalty area per 90, Koundé does beat Eric Garcia, but mainly because Koundé is a right back, so he is forced to attempt more passes to the penalty area. And then if you look at the very bottom, you can see that Eric Garcia again is much more superior to Koundé and Ronald Araujo when it comes to accurate progressive passes percentage. He is the most reliable one, and I'm very proud of this player for what he has done so far in his career. So that is it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.